A few days ago, Vietnamese social media erupted over the story of the Vietnamese woman who brought a gun into a courthouse to rescue her accomplice. By now, all suspects have been recaptured. But the controversy surrounding the incident is far from over. As the suspects were brought back into custody, new debates exploded from the AI-generated movie-like portrait that went viral to the crude, unprofessional remarks made by some reporters at the scene. Were those actions justified? And how did the Cambodian authorities respond to the growing public outcry? Stay with Vietnamese Case Files over the next few minutes as we break everything down. We would also like to note that all information in today's video has been researched and compiled from multiple sources. If you notice any inaccuracies or believe something needs clarification, please leave a comment so the Vietnamese Case Files team can update and correct it. And as usual, after watching the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the Vietnamese Case Files team. Now, let's begin the story. Returning to the chaotic morning of November 18th, the key factor behind the initial success of the prison break was the woman in black who smuggled a handgun to the inmate. As soon as the security footage spread, both Cambodian and Vietnamese netizens focused their attention on this mysterious woman. Who was she, and how could she stealthily bring a firearm into the courthouse grounds? According to online sources, her name is Bao Van, born in 1998 and originally from Hai Duong, Vietnam. She allegedly took advantage of the morning opening hours, blended into the courthouse compound, and posed as a relative of one of the defendants. Cambodian police also stated that she arrived alone, wearing discreet clothing, black clothes, a cap, and a mask that covered most of her face, raising no suspicion. While waiting, she casually stood in the parking area, scanning her surroundings. A security staff member approached her because she seemed out of place, but she diverted his attention and continued lingering near the area where the prisoner transport vehicle would stop. The court's lack of vigilance and over-trusting security created the perfect opportunity for her to approach her target. When the van carrying the inmates arrived, she quickly identified her accomplice among the group. As soon as he stepped off the vehicle, she moved in close and slipped a handgun into his hand. The movement was so swift that the escorting officers couldn't react in time. The handgun was clearly preloaded and likely smuggled in from outside. How she managed to bring a gun into the courthouse remains under investigation. One theory suggests she hid the weapon on her body or inside her bag and slipped through security during the early morning rush without proper inspection. Regardless of how it happened, the fact that a firearm made it into the courthouse grounds exposed a severe security breach that morning. And after handing the weapon to the inmate, her role did not end there. She was believed to have run alongside the group to help them escape. Witnesses claim they saw her swiftly open the door of a waiting vehicle for the fugitives to jump in. Some speculated that the second getaway car was also driven by her or guided by her to split the pursuing forces. However, this theory has not been publicly confirmed. What is known is that immediately after the escape, the mysterious woman vanished with the group and became the primary target of Cambodian police for hours afterward. Authorities from both countries paid special attention to her involvement. Cambodian social media was filled with speculation. Was she the wife or girlfriend of one of the inmates, risking everything to save her lover? Or was she a member of a criminal network assigned by the organization to rescue her associates? Adding to the chaos, once she was recaptured, an image of her circulated online showing porcelain-like fair skin, a sharp nose, and striking dark eyes, prompting many to remark that she looked like a scene from a movie. This was likely far beyond what Cambodian police anticipated. The very suspect they had just brought in suddenly went viral online, with discussions about her appearance overshadowing actual crime and legal news. Surprisingly, the uproar became even more intense in China than in Southeast Asia. Many Chinese netizens expressed disbelief that someone who appeared so calm and even quite attractive could be the key figure in an armed escape attempt inside a courthouse. Some comments compared her actions to stepping out of an action film, while others admitted they could not imagine such a woman silently concealing a gun, approaching an inmate, and triggering such a chaotic escape. At this point, Vietnamese social media began circulating claims that Bao Van was actually the girlfriend or wife of one of the escaped inmates. When he was previously arrested in Cambodia, he reportedly told her to take the money and return to Vietnam to continue her life. But instead, Bao Van insisted on staying, and even planned to help her lover escape, as we all witnessed. Learning this, many people reacted with a mix of disbelief and sarcasm, calling her the strongest big sister in Asia and joking that the whole situation looked like a lover rescue mission, a modern-day fairy tale of a beauty saving her hero. Some online users even argued that she may be wrong in the eyes of the law, but she's loyal to her lover, expressing admiration for the bravery of someone who looked so young and fragile. However, Chinese netizens quickly pushed back, criticizing this romanticization and calling it inappropriate. They emphasized that regardless of her appearance, nothing could overshadow the fact that this was an extremely dangerous, organized criminal act that blatantly disregarded the law. Others condemned the romantic comments, sternly reminding people this isn't a movie, this is a real crime scene, and the bullets fired at the courthouse nearly harmed innocent people. These conflicting reactions show that the Svay Rieng prison break didn't just shake Cambodia. It also ignited heated discussions across the region, especially in China, where netizens felt a mix of curiosity, shock, fear, and anger toward a woman whose calm face belied her involvement in one of the boldest escapes of the year. More importantly, shortly afterward, the Svay Rieng Provincial Police denied several viral images circulating online, confirming they were AI-generated and not the real suspect. They urged the public to stop sharing them to prevent misinformation that could disrupt the investigation. Police also stated they were determining her motive and whether she had ties to any transnational criminal organizations. Yet the controversy didn't stop there. A few days later, Cambodian public opinion erupted again, this time not because of the criminals, but because of the people reporting on them. In a viral video, as the Vietnamese female suspect was being escorted in handcuffs, a male reporter from a Cambodian online news outlet approached her, filming while suddenly reaching out to pinch her cheek and making a casual remark complimenting how smooth it was. Another video showed a different reporter standing nearby making inappropriate comments about the suspect's chest, treating her more like an object of mockery than a detainee facing criminal charges. Those few seconds of footage were enough to push Cambodia's entire press corps into the center of a public backlash. The Ministry of Information immediately intervened. The reporter who touched the suspect's face had his press card revoked, was banned from participating in journalism or broadcasting activities, and the ministry urged the public to stop sharing the video to prevent spreading further humiliation. Additionally, both individuals involved were summoned for questioning and required to attend a mandatory journalistic ethics and morality education session, serving as an official reprimand. Independent media groups and women's rights organizations condemned the behavior as harassment, a violation of bodily autonomy and human dignity. They stressed that being a suspect does not make her body fair game for jokes or physical contact. Many feminist activists and media experts also warned that this was not merely about a few unethical reporters, but reflected a deeper problem, a widespread lack of understanding about women's bodily autonomy, especially toward those already in a vulnerable position, such as detainees. As a result, organizations like the Cambodian Center for Independent Media and Cambo-JA called for renewed training on ethics and gender awareness in journalism. They argued that if journalists who are entrusted to inform the public treat pinching a female suspect's face or making vulgar remarks as just a joke, then public trust in the media will continue to erode. And so, the Svay Rieng prison break not only exposed the brazenness of cross-border crime, but also peeled back another dark layer, the way some men, even in respected roles such as reporters and journalists, still feel entitled to treat a woman's body as something to toy with, even in a courthouse setting. While the public continues to debate courthouse security and organized crime networks, this seemingly small but actually significant incident reminds us that justice is not only defined by the sentences handed down to those who fired the gun, but also by how we treat every individual, even those standing on the other side of the courtroom. Returning to the escaped criminal group, it's important to note that these inmates were far from ordinary offenders. They were part of an organized criminal network consisting of 5 Vietnamese nationals and 1 Cambodian citizen: Pham Van Bao, Deong Quoc Dat, Tran Than Hun, Nguyen Van Sun, Le Van Thien Luong, and Sin Hao. Prior to their arrest, they were suspected members of a transnational criminal operation active in Cambodia. According to spokesperson King Sonadin of the Cambodian General Department of Prisons, they were awaiting trial on multiple serious criminal charges, including drug trafficking, illegal possession and use of firearms, and unlawful detention. These charges indicate links to high-tech criminal activity and cross-border illegal operations issues that have been hot topics in recent months. Both Vietnamese and Cambodian media describe the group as part of a large online gambling and scam network based around the Bavat Sve Rieng border area, a hotspot known for casinos and foreign criminal syndicates. It is highly likely that they exploited Cambodian territory to run illegal online gambling platforms and establish scam centers targeting victims worldwide. The charge of unlawful detention suggests the group may have held victims or workers captive, a brutal tactic commonly seen in transnational scam operations, where victims have their passports confiscated and are forced to work in scam compounds. The most prominent member was Le Van Tien Luong, believed to be the ringleader, overseeing online fraud schemes and illegal gambling operations. Before his arrest, he had recruited numerous subordinates to carry out online scams, profiting from thousands of victims. By 2025, Luong and his associates were arrested during a major Cambodian crackdown on foreign criminal networks. According to a report by Cambodia's Anti-Cybercrime Committee, in just the last 4 months of 2025, authorities arrested more than 3,400 suspects linked to online fraud, many of them foreign nationals. This shows that Luong's group was only one piece of a much larger and more complex transnational cybercrime landscape in Cambodia. However, investigators still classified Luong as a big catch, as the group not only orchestrated scams but also possessed weapons and illegal substances, showing they were willing to use violent methods to protect their operations. Before the prison break, all 6 suspects, 5 Vietnamese and 1 Cambodian, were being held at the Sve Rieng provincial prison awaiting trial. On the morning of November 18th, they were escorted to court for their preliminary hearing on drug trafficking charges. Their extreme decision to attempt an escape suggests they anticipated receiving very heavy sentences, possibly decades in prison, and saw fleeing as their only option. In the criminal underworld, it is not uncommon for associates on the outside to attempt rescue missions when a ringleader faces severe punishment. This led to widespread speculation that the escape was not spontaneous, but rather part of a carefully coordinated plan involving external accomplices. The bold escape attempt immediately became headline news in both Cambodian and Vietnamese media. In Cambodia, major outlets such as Khmer Times, Phnom Penh, Post, and Fresh News ran front-page stories, calling it an unprecedented incident that shook the courthouse security system. Cambodian TV channels repeatedly aired the footage of the female accomplice handing over the gun while interviewing officials and experts about the security breach. Public outrage grew as viewers saw courthouse guards fleeing in panic, unarmed and completely unprepared. On social media, many people expressed concern over the criminals' recklessness if they dared to open fire inside a courthouse. Then how dangerous could they be outside in the public? Cambodian media and civil organizations sounded the alarm about the state of prison and courthouse security. The human rights group Laikado called for a thorough investigation, accountability for all involved personnel, and immediate fixes to the prisoner transport system. The organization also stressed that any negligence or collusion by public officials in this escape would be unacceptable. Under growing public pressure, the Cambodian government moved quickly. On the afternoon of November 19th, the Ministry of Interior announced the formation of a special task force involving the General Department of Prisons, the Sve Rieng Provincial Police, and the Provincial Court. Their mission is not only to investigate the inmates and their accomplices, but also to review the conduct of the escort and courthouse security teams present on the morning of November 18th. A source from the Ministry of Interior revealed that investigators would examine potential negligence or internal collusion among officials, as well as review the entire prisoner transport procedure that day. Minister Sar Soka even demanded a direct report of the investigation's results and pledged before the National Assembly to tighten judicial security and prevent any repeat of such incidents. Meanwhile, the Sve Rieng Provincial Court held an emergency meeting to review its security protocols. The Chief Justice announced that several security officers directly involved in the incident would be temporarily suspended pending investigation. Nationwide, courthouse security was ordered to increase screening procedures for all visitors, especially during trials involving dangerous criminals, and to equip courthouse police with proper weapons and support tools. Additional measures included enhanced escort equipment such as handcuffs, leg shackles, and secure transport vehicles, with separate holding compartments for high-risk inmates to prevent collusion and escape attempts. Once all the escapees were recaptured, legal proceedings against the suspects were expedited. For now, the Cambodian prosecutor's office has added new charges against the 5 Vietnamese inmates, the Cambodian inmate, and the female accomplice directly involved in the escape. These new charges may include armed escape, fleeing lawful custody, armed assault on law enforcement, illegal possession and use of firearms, and even potential charges of attempted murder since shots were fired at police officers. Under Cambodian law, an armed escape can result in an additional prison term of up to 20 years or even life imprisonment, not including penalties for related offenses such as illegal firearm use and assaulting police. A Cambodian lawyer interviewed by the Phnom Penh Post stated, "Given the severity of this incident, the defendants are likely to face the maximum penalties for both their previous charges and the new ones. This means the escape attempt not only failed to grant them freedom, but also severely worsened their legal situation, resulting in heavier sentences, longer criminal records, and the likelihood of spending the rest of their lives behind bars." As for the female accomplice, she is expected to be prosecuted as an organizer and mastermind of the escape plan. If convicted of intentionally supplying weapons to inmates and assisting their escape, she could face a sentence equal to or only slightly lighter than the main defendants. In other words, she may now be reunited with her lover as she wished, except that neither of them is free anymore. In Vietnam, the case caused widespread public shock as headlines focused on the group of Vietnamese suspects who opened fire while attempting to escape inside a Cambodian courthouse. Many people expressed shame and anger that Vietnamese nationals were responsible for such a scandal abroad. On online forums, numerous users argued that Vietnamese criminal groups in Cambodia had seriously damaged the reputation of Vietnamese citizens and hoped they would be punished strictly. Some even voiced concern about whether this group was linked to the illegal trafficking networks that lured Vietnamese workers into scam operations in Cambodia. From the government's side, a representative of Vietnam's Ministry of Foreign Affairs affirmed that Vietnam was ready to cooperate with Cambodia in all related matters, including verifying the identities of the suspects and assisting the investigation if necessary, and fully respected the Cambodian court's jurisdiction over these individuals. Vietnam also requested that Cambodia ensure the legal rights of the suspects during court proceedings and called for stronger information sharing mechanisms to combat cross-border crime. Overall, the response from both countries can be summarized in 2 words: firm and resolute. Cambodia is determined not to let criminals undermine its legal system. Vietnam supports Cambodia in prosecuting those who have tarnished the reputation of the Vietnamese community abroad. Although shocking, this incident serves as an opportunity for both nations to strengthen judicial and security cooperation, especially as transnational crime continues to grow more complex across Southeast Asia. And now, what do you think the newly recaptured inmates will face in their upcoming trial? Leave a comment below to share your thoughts. And before you go, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Vietnamese Case Files to support our team and keep up with new investigations. Thank you, and we'll see you again at the same time tomorrow.